All right, so I've been using the new Magic Keyboard for about 24 hours or so you can kind of consider this like my initial impressions, and I'll probably revisit it later, but there are a couple of things I like and a couple of things I don't like. Firstly, I love how the keyboard kind of like further shows me how you can make an iPad into a laptop, but not per se a laptop into an iPad. Like, this keyboard alone is one of the many things that you can add to the iPad and still take advantage of the touch functionality. So to get this up here, you just literally just drop it on like that and it kind of snaps into place via magnets. I was honestly looking forward to being able to push this back further than I can. I don't know, I just assumed that I'd be able to, but yeah, I was sadly disappointed. I don't know why, but it just felt natural to want to do that for me. In actuality, all you're moving is the top half of the cover. I naturally want to come down here to the bottom of the iPad and pull it back, but this is as far as it goes. You bend it by taking the top half and pushing it backwards like that. So if you take a look at the previous gen and the new gen, they basically go back the same amount. I wanted to unlock a new angle, and I did, and you can lean it further forward than you can with the old one, but I'm not using my iPad like this. If the iPad could go back that far, it would just unleash its potential even more, because right now, you know, this is really for those that want a more laptop experience. It's not really for the creators that are into drawing and things like that. The other thing I noticed with this is the weight. It is a little bit heavier than I thought it would be, but it's not like deal breaker type heavy. I will say though, it does start to feel like a laptop. And it's kind of one of those situations where if weight matters a lot to you, you might find yourself debating carrying this or your laptop instead. For me, I like to use my iPad for like less intensive to mildly intensive tasks. I guess the deciding factor when I'm home and I'm thinking about either grabbing my laptop or my computer is if I'm about to edit a video. And not just a quick, easy edit, something kind of really detailed and intricate. That's when I'm carrying my laptop. Now, the iPad that I have is the 11-inch. I went with this one personally because if I'm getting a tablet, I want it to feel like a tablet. And to me, if I got the bigger iPad, by the time I have that type of weight in my lap and that big screen in my lap, I'ma just want my laptop. I did try the 12.9-inch when they first came out, and I returned it shortly after. It just wasn't for me. But I would like to revisit it and see if I still kind of feel the same. Plus, when you go with the 11-inch, you can get the Magic Keyboard cover at a cheaper price at $300 instead of $350, which is another thing I want to talk about, because if I saw this keyboard on the shelf, I would not assume that it was like $300. I just wouldn't. I would think it's like maybe $200, $250, but $300? No. Well, you know, it's kind of one of those scenarios. But I do like the fact that I have this backlit keyboard now, because there are times at night when I'm sleepy and I'm typing and I'm like, you know, one eye open, I'm blindly trying to find the keys that I want without the assistance of any light. The other thing that I know I was curious about is how strong is this magnet? So this magnet is super strong. Like, it's not going anywhere. Like, the cover is moving, but this iPad is not coming out. It's not detaching, it's not dropping. We're good there. I even feel like if this accidentally fell, you know, off the table like this with the iPad in it, the magnet's so strong it probably still won't detach. And no, I'm not about to test that. And as you can see there, even tapping with force on the screen does not move my viewing angle. I have to like really push in to adjust that. Typing up here has been nice. I haven't, you know, had any complaints. I do sometimes miss the feel of the older keyboard. It had like, you know, a fabric type feel versus this plastic type feel. And that's honestly because I kind of use my tablet like a phone. You know, when I'm eating or something and my hands are a little greasy, I'll still interact to an extent with my phone. And I kind of find myself doing the same thing with my iPad. So when I think about typing on the old keyboard, I know the likelihood of me getting fingerprints up there are like a lot less than it would be on the new keyboard. Like, this is gonna be just like as if I were eating and typing on my computer. Now, this keyboard, if you're curious, does stay charged up with the iPad, so you don't have to charge this separately. Now, you do have with it this additional USB-C port. This is only going to allow you to charge your iPad. You can't connect like a mouse, a keyboard, or a hard drive to this. You can at least now charge via this while using like a hub or a dongle through your USB-C port on your iPad. But I do notice, like, if I'm in an app and I want to go to another application, I'm more inclined right now at least to touch the screen than I am to go down to the trackpad here. And I think that's just because it's second nature right now for me. That's how I've been using my iPad for the past few years. But the good thing is if you use the Mac, a lot of those gestures do come over with the Magic Keyboard. So that makes using and learning to use this keyboard, you know, a lot easier. Also with typing, I thankfully haven't had any issues with the screen getting in the way when I'm typing, even though it's low and it's near my fingers. One thing I really love the trackpad for is like selecting text. Because sometimes I struggle the most with like trying to select it with my finger, but with the trackpad, I'm a lot more accurate in like selecting what I want or just putting the cursor where I need it to go in between two letters. That is so hard for me to do with my fingers. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is the trackpad actually clicks like. But I can say this keyboard does take my iPad to the next level. I find myself carrying it around a lot more. Whether I need it in that moment or not is with me. I just love how it gives me this kind of like laptop vibe without it being an actual laptop. But I think the question that everybody kind of wants to know, is it worth it? Considering that there aren't a lot of other options out there that offer the feature set in which this does for your iPad in terms of giving you the trackpad, the backlit keyboard, the pass-through USB-C charging, the easy attachment with the magnets, and the fact that the keys are so similar to that of a MacBook. So taking all that into consideration, I think it is. Do I want to pay that? No, who does? But if those are some things that you need or that matter to you or that could take your usage of this iPad to the next level, then I say go for it. Definitely drop any questions you have about this down below. For your friends and family that have questions about this, feel free to share this video with them. Save yourself some breath. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.